Welcome, everybody, to the Master Heart family. My name is Shell Tanner, and I am standing in for Dr. Hank while he is in Italy with his wife. And oh, I got somebody joining. Sorry, I'm not used to letting people in here. And we just get together and share miracles and amazing things happening in our lives. So, has anything amazing happened for any of you this week that you would like to share? Any miracles happening in your lives? Don't be shy.
Hey, Liberty.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
You're fine. You're here at the right time.
That's right. So, do you got one, Shell?
Yeah, I do actually. Thanks, Joey. So I've been working at my business pretty hardcore the last few years, trying to figure out what it is exactly that I want to do. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I figured out, okay, this is what I want to do, and realized that it's not happening as fast as I would like it to happen. But there's just like these things happen every once in a while as a reminder that yes, I am on the right path. And not worrying about the how, just letting it flow, like you say, Joey. And this weekend I was on TikTok, sorry, and I don't know how this girl showed up on my feed, but she started commenting on my stuff, which made me go look at her stuff. And she was sharing about confronting the bullies in your life. And, unfortunately, she had gone through some terrible things with people. But when I was listening to her story, it hit me that I was the one that was the biggest bully to myself in my life all these years. And I had made that comment on her video. And she reached out and asked me if I would be a guest on her podcast and talk about that. And I was just like, see, like, you're not supposed to worry about how, like, God, universe, spirit puts these things in your path, and the right time when they're supposed to be there. And I'm so excited. And then she also asked if I would be on another episode talking about manifesting, which is like my passion. So I'm going to be on 2 episodes coming up here. I'm not sure exactly when. And I'm so excited about it. And so don't worry about how, just trust, that you're on the right path and that everything's going to happen when it's supposed to.
Yes, that's awesome. If I could add to that, I notice those things happen when I'm like really enjoying life as it is right now. I mean, I have those desires I want. I see the contrast that I'm learning to use instead of discontent. But I like those things always unfold and they happen, they open up when I'm living great just right here, right now, and in the moment and stuff, and not living out that way. So I have those constantly happening. It's so cool to be in that connection place and stuff. And then I notice at times when I'm not in there, and it could be nothing at all. Like I always look for, like I've spent so much of my life looking for a reason on why I'm unhappy or why this is bothering me or why that's not working or why this, why. And I don't have to have any of that. I can just be right here. And if I'm not happy, if I'm not in that place of joyful living, I'll just literally sit down, take some breaths, that's 5 second in, 5 second out, and do that 6 times. And I'll just say, how do I want to feel right now? A lot of times for me, it's laughter, joy, happy, love, whatever it is. And then I just start imagining, what does that feel like? What does that feel like to be in that place? Not how do I get there, but what does it feel like just to be there? And within a short period of time, I'm feeling that way inside. And then I can allow that to come outward. So that's I love hearing stuff like that, Shell. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I'd like to add to that, if possibly. Steve here, miracles happen to me every day just because life is happening and life is a miracle. And today is just another beautiful day in the God's world. And that's a really interesting concept because I had gone to a friend's house this weekend and see some friends that I hadn't seen for a minute, and he'd got a new Raptor truck. I said, "Wow, that's unbelievable." And he's like, "I have been manifesting this for 12 years." I mean, that's pretty good to stick with the manifestation, I think, and it paid off, and it was a good lesson for me just to remember, like, I'm not the only person that's might be behind or needing this or needing that, or I'm not behind on anything actually.
Yeah.
But he's ahead of me getting his Raptor before I got mine. Is what I was thinking. That truck is so crazy. It was so nice. But anyway, love to see everybody out today, and hope today is blessed. And that's just a really good point today. So thank you for bringing that back up. I like that. Wait for it; it'll happen.
Yeah. Yep. It happens when it's supposed to happen. Thanks for sharing that story, Stephen.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So that made me think about what Abraham Hicks says, and it's you can't argue for your limitations. We tend to argue, like Joey was saying, he starts looking for reasons to be unhappy, and then he's got to check himself. But that made me think of that term, arguing for your limitations. And when I'm in those moods and I've got to change the channel, I will think about those wonderful times of how, in our past, how all of a sudden within seconds, your entire life can change. You can get something so magical and just like so amazing. But as long as you're riding that wave in that positive direction, that's what happens. So when I need to change my channel, I will sit and resonate on like what happened with the ACL tickets that I was gifted and being there for 3 days this last weekend. And I am still energetic. I'm here at work. I didn't tax myself too much, so I'm all good. But that just feeling of that moment, that elation of when those amazing things happen, where you can align with that, then that manifestation just picks up big time with its quickness.
I really like your analogy, Melanie, of changing the channel. I don't think I've ever heard that before. And like we are on a frequency, and what frequency do you choose to be on? You can choose, like you said, the lack and limitation. And Dr. Hank always says, stop fighting for your lack and limitation. And man, I did that for so many years without even realizing it. And I'm so happy now that I've changed my channel. And yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that analogy.
Absolutely. How was your trip, by the way?
It was great. It
Yeah.
was great. Yeah, it was really good. There weren't a lot of bands that I really knew that I wanted to see, and it was so huge. I think there was like 8 stages, and so they're all spread out. There's mass amount of people, but me, I'm built to where a mass amount of people doesn't give me anxiety or anything. The energy actually kind of completes an energy in me. And I don't know if y'all ever heard of human design. There's a thing called human design. You can look up your human design chart, and it basically tells you how you were hardwired when you came into this earth. And so apparently with my hardwiring, I have an open channel to where being around a bunch of people kind of feeds my soul and completes me. So that's one reason why too, I kind of tapped into that while I was there, and I utilized the whole trip more for that than even going for the concerts. I guess it was more just the experience of being around the people, and it was great. It was beautiful.
Awesome. That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
I
How
felt
many
those
people?
musicians, I get so happy for them, but it makes me cry because they've done so well, and they just the mass amount of people that's there for them is just so beautiful. Yep. So
How many people? How many people were there?
oh God, I don't know. I mean, there's 6,000, maybe more. I mean, insane amount of people. You can go online and look at the pics for ACL, Austin City Limits Music Festival, and Chappell Roan is one of the big bands that, like, I think she probably pulled the most people out of everyone. And apparently they had her on a small stage at first, but when they found out how big she was, they had to give her a bigger stage. And oh my God, we were packed in there, which I wasn't too cool with. But again, I just kind of fed off of it. I just utilized the energy, and all of those kids were so excited to see her. All thousands of people were singing along to her songs. You couldn't even hear her sing, like for every freaking song. It was just so beautiful. And she's only 26, and it's so cute. It was great.
That's
So
Country
awesome.
western.
I'm
Country
curious how
western.
many people were actually there, because I was down in it and it was pretty intense
Country
at
western.
moments.
Is that country western music?
Yeah, there was some country. I mean, there was all types of music, all types. That a man named Teddy Swims.
Yeah.
He was there, and I only knew the one song that's of him on the radio. And I just talking about it makes me want to cry because he was so damn good. It was like, oh my God. So he's one of my new favorite ones. And I guess what would you call him? Kind of like he's kind of bluesish,
Bluegrass.
bluegrass.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kind of a
Yeah.
bluesy
Yeah.
rock.
He's
Yeah.
definitely very Louisiana.
yeah.
Nice.
Cajun.
Nice. That's awesome.
Melanie, your excitement is like literally giving me goosebumps. Like I can
Oh.
feel how happy and excited you are, and I'm literally like over here just it's awesome.
Good.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
So I wanted to tell you all thank you very much for your prayers for us and our family. We had my husband's son had a kidney removed. They'd found a mass after he was bleeding through urination, and then all of a sudden, things in our life slow us down, wake us up to what we need to pay attention to. So we didn't say the C word at all. We had to biopsy it before, you start going down that dark tunnel, and we didn't. So we stayed positive. So every time someone would turn something negative, I would say, no, we're going to be positive, 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 and think of the good things. If anything, it has brought my husband and his son closer together more than anything. And today I found out that the biopsy was clear, that it was cancer, but they cut it all out. So we do a CAT scan later, but it was removed. And so, you got one more kidney and a great body functioning. He's only 38 years old, but it's, I look at the light of it. So if you could think about it for a minute, and I know, like, I've expressed my relationship with my daughter and then his kids, and Joey, your relationship with your kids, you would rather take a bullet for your own child than them have to suffer. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a moment where he went out there. We used our miles, thank God, because we were like, how are we going to do this? And I'm like, you know what? We're going to ask for what we want and then watch it happen.
Yeah.
My husband was so moved by it. He was just so moved by it because he's lost his daughter and his former wife. And, he's like, what else happened? I'm like, get that out. Get that out of your mindset. People get so clouded by these things that happen in life, and then the devastation starts pulling them down. Well, the positivity and the enlightenment from others and the love that people give each other, like through storms or whatever, we're there for each other as human beings, and definitely sharing the love. So I really appreciate it, and know it's because you all thinking about us, positive vibes and the vibration you shared. So I just want to thank you for those, and I am truly grateful for you all, and sending me your positive vibration. We needed it more than ever, because when you're around negative, the negative almost sucks you in. You got to
sticky. It's sticky. The negative is sticky and heavy.
Those crazy damn people, man. You got to get away from them.
That was awesome. That was awesome sharing that and stuff, and just the way how powerful God is. And I'll share something. I don't think I've shared it in here before, but a little over a decade ago, my son was in Michigan, excuse me, and I was in Wisconsin, and I got a call on probably 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, on Easter morning. And it was he was in the hospital and didn't know the condition, anything else and stuff like that. So I immediately grabbed some clothes. I didn't even grab a bag. I forgot, and threw them in the car, jumped in the car or truck, and I was driving across 94 and going back, through there and everything, and rushing as fast as I could go to get back there and stuff. And I remember, like, I just couldn't stop crying, and the fears and all that stuff came in, and I ended up talking to the coach I had at the time, and they said, the talking to me and said, and this wasn't until like, so I drove all that way until like 7:30 in the morning, not talking to anybody because I didn't want to wake somebody up or something. Man, was I freaking out. And so I called my coach and we're talking, and she goes, just spend your time picturing a vision for him. Get a mighty vision for him in his life, and I did, and I talked, and I just kept leaning into it, and kept, even though I'm crying and stuff. And I got back there, and we went through the stuff, and he ended up being, okay and stuff, and that was a time of transition where I moved from. So it had to be a little over a decade. I moved from Wisconsin, resigned corporate America, came down here and started doing what I do today, and he came down here for over the summer that year, the next year, and him and I are talking. Excuse me, we're talking and stuff like that, and he was talking about how his life is, and I told him about what I did driving to see him that night, and that vision, and I mean, he's a couple inches taller than I am and stuff, and he's sitting on the couch just openly weeping and crying, and so I didn't know what was the matter. I didn't know if he was what was going on, and when he caught his breath, and he said, "Dad, every one of those things you just told me came true in my life." And I like, honestly, the reason I did that is to make sure I made it there. I use that as a tool in putting that vision together for him and stuff. And now whenever I'm in meetings, before I talk to a client, even here on Mondays, is I'll picture the people on on here, and just create a little vision for them, and what I'd love for them to receive this next week and stuff. And it's funny the way it's become more of a, not automatic, because there's times I don't do it, but it's become more regular, that pull to want to do that with whoever I'm with or around or going to see and things like that. And it's, we talk about the power of vision in our lives, but our visions can be powerful in other people's lives too. And that's, I heard you talking in there, Liberty, is putting together that positive thought, the positive outcomes and for him and stuff. So
Absolutely. It's almost like you have to say what you want out loud more often, and other people hear you and they're like, "What are you saying?"
yeah.
Then they start picking up on it and watching you improve, and they're like, "Oh, maybe I do need to listen." Uh,
I have to say, what we are doing today is just phenomenal, for two reasons. One, it always brings a higher level for all of us when we sign off. And secondly, it also encourages and gives us that continued love that we so need right now, particularly in our culture, because we all know that there's a lot going on with our politics and just the whole realm of technology. It's a very dynamic time that we're in, whether it's healthcare or technology. And we ourselves are so blessed to be able to have this platform as well, because we know that most people that are working together do not have this. And secondly, when we are away from each other and we're not on our platform, we know we still have that higher level and that energy that sometimes I just think to myself, oh, I wonder what Zoom users doing. or I hope that Liberty's having a great day, or just my Master Heart family. I pray for them. I pray for you always, especially on Sundays when I'm at church, and I surround your lives and your loved ones with positivity and all the good things that continue to bring us joy.
Yeah.
Well,
And go ahead.
after your explanation of your garden, okay, so I look at them differently now. So thank you for that. So it makes me pray back for you all.
And thank God for those that contrast. See how I'm using it? Michelle, I'm doing great here. Thank God for the contrast we have in our perceptions of politics and things like that and everything else, because that's really kind of what drives us to things like this, where we get to find this, and then we end up where we really want to be, So, and I'll tell you, as I do more of this, my perceptions of anything else out there shift.
It's a good shift.
Yeah, it is. Yes, I agree.
It's always better.
I start
It's
seeing
always
things.
better.
I start seeing the big remembrance I carry around with me all day and night. 24 hours a day is God is in control.
That's right.
God is in control. And everybody can do whatever they want to do, but God is in control.
We are very proactive and very strong and very intelligent for all being on this call together.
Amen, sister.
I woke up this morning saying money loves me and I love money.
Hey, do you guys still do the Joy Shop?
Yeah.
If I feel like I'm kind of like not slagging, but just like things are kind of almost like it requires a little bit of a push, they're not unfolding, I'll go back to that and it'll put me back in that place of just letting go and allowing. Allowing everything to come to me. I don't have to go chasing it. I found that in love. I found that with finances. I have found that with opportunities. I have found that with breakthroughs. I found that like every area of my life I apply it to. And I'll still get stuck in that sometimes. I'll still get the contrast of being stuck in that, wanting to help it along and move it along and things like that, but I'll remind myself of that, and then I'll picture letting it go and what comes in place of it.
At the festival, when we were all packed in like sardines trying to get away from Chaperone's stage when she was done, and I've been in situations like that a lot, but that was many years ago, and so the dynamic of people in their psyche has completely changed compared to 20 years ago. And I got to witness how much calmer everyone in the crowd was, and then the few little people who wanted to get freaked out and like they were getting frustrated and wanting to all of a sudden push all the people out of the way or encourage everybody to kind of rush. There was one guy who was trying to incite murder, basically, trying to get the whole crowd to freak out. And it was so cool because they were like, stop that right now. And so it was beautiful. The majority of the people we knew, just be patient, keep breathing, we're going to get out. And then all of a sudden we opened and everything was beautiful. But yeah, those few little stinkers, they got snuffed out by all the positivity. It was good.
And I really enjoyed being around crowds that size, but my preference is that I'm up on a stage speaking to them. Yeah. So I can walk off the back or side or whatever.
Liberty, when you were sharing your story, like, telling people, no, we're going to be positive. I definitely, since I started meeting with you guys a year and a half ago, the positive spin I'm able to put on everything now. My close friends have said, I'm more positive because of you. And that, like, it just makes me feel really good because I want to say, like, I worked hard to get this way, but I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, it was easy, all I had to do was just kind of take control of my thoughts, and it's easy once you know how to do it. But for so many years I didn't know how, and I just allowed myself to sit in that negativity all the time. But now it's just so easy for me to spin everything, and find the blessing in every situation. And knowing that, it's rubbing off on my friends makes me feel really happy too, that I was definitely meant to find you guys a year and a half ago, because my life is so much better because we're all in it.
And Michelle, I remember when I first joined this and stuff, and we'd go through and we'd do the talks, and you would share something and you share the problem and you get teared up and things like that over the problem and how big it seemed. And now I watch you cry over the blessing.
Yeah.
It's like been a 180-degree shift. It's beautiful to get to see that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
No, I know it's hard these days. Social media doesn't have the most positive outlook on everything, and a lot of people worry about what other people think of them, and that makes it difficult for our younger generations. But I was with a group of girls that were young ladies in the mortgage industry and trying to be a good leader. And the first thing they were thinking about was, why doesn't anybody like my post? And I stopped them for a minute. I said, it doesn't matter what people think. It's about what you think of yourself and how positive you want to be and always be that better human being out there. And besides, they're not paying your bills. When they start paying your bills, then start worrying about all that stuff. But they're not.
Yeah, and even our perceptions around stuff like that. I see the social media as positiveness. I go to TikTok at least once every day to watch the funny videos and stuff like that, because you guys probably don't know this, but I enjoy laughing. And I don't like, if something is politic, whatever it is, that's not something I'm into, I just flash through it, or I'll delete it or something. But like my social media posts, when I read through my feed and stuff, it's positive.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like the more you click on the things you want to see, then the more you're going to be fed what you want to see. And it's a really good representation of kind of our brains and just on a different level.
Yeah.
You get what you look at, you get what you focus on. And there's so many people who say, oh, there's horrible things. I'm like, well, I don't really see that.
I don't put energy into it. Even with like I'm in South Carolina, and we got hit really bad with the previous hurricane, and then what happened in North Carolina and stuff like that, and Asheville and stuff. And I'm like, with this last one here, I have a friend that I was with, when it was happening and stuff like that, and they had the news on, they had it turned up, and every little thing and stuff like that, and they, and I just went in the other room. It's like I can look at the weather app and see what the what's actually happening with the hurricane without all the added drama and everything else. And so I feel like I'm informed and stuff, but I don't have to get into all that. And then all the aftermath, and when they go back through it 100 different ways and everything, it says that's not what I want my attention on. I want my attention on, like I heard a story of a guy, a guy that lives by me, his brother who's handicapped and this and that, was up in the Asheville area. And he couldn't get a hold of him for 3 days. So they put something out on social media, and this kid, they have no idea who he is, but he rode a four-wheeler up there and found the guy in his house, and he has a wife who can't walk and stuff like that. So they put the wife on the lawnmower, tied it to the back of the ATV rather, and the four-wheeler, and then pulled them down into safety and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things I get to hear.
No, that's good. I think too, the contrast, like what you were talking about. So my daughter lives not too far from Asheville. She actually just moved to Weaverville, but her job is in Asheville, which was pretty much washed out. That young lady and her friends get together and start helping out other people with what they have, and not just because that's what she knows, but it's like those humans helping other humans to be better. Whether we like it or not, God's watching us on how we deal with each other. And I love that part about being a human being, is I would rather make someone else's life better, to keep going. And I don't know if that makes sense to anyone here, but
Absolutely.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. It makes me think of my BNI meeting every Tuesday. We have to do like a little commercial of our business. And I had a presentation last Tuesday. So, of course, I did it on the scanner and introduced them to the scanner and the concept, what we're doing and what it does, the value it brings. But they do a bio in the beginning. And one of the parts of the bio for me was describe leadership. And it reminds me exactly of what we're talking about, because when I described leadership, I thought about it and I says, of course, we want to help people reach their optimum and be their best, but it's how we go about doing it. And for me, it's the encouragement and the love, because love never loses. It always wins.
right, love
It's a win.
all. I love
And that's one of those things, like, you know, whenever I get bugged out, Dr. Hank calls it the committee. I call it the Antichrist. We call it whatever we want, you know, but it's that influence coming in, creating the contrast. But I love serving and doing what I do for works. I love serving for what I do with people with recovery. I love doing that because I can't live through that Antichrist or committee, whatever you want to call it, and be serving from my heart at the same time. So whenever I'm in that place of over there, one of the ways I can break away from that is just get into service, you know. And now that I'm serving clients on a weekly basis, it keeps me in that mode of doing that and stuff, you know. And so in leaning that way, it has to quiet that down. I can't have both of them active at the same time. I can't live through here and live through my heart connection both. So when I find I'm in here, I have avenues set up to help me to get back into that mode that shifts me down into here. And that's what you were talking about, learning the how of it, Shao, is getting into that place where you're living from your heart. And you've done a really, really awesome job at that.
I agree with you all on that. Do you know it when people struggle with I guess I would say the committee wants to complain, it's because they truly just don't either know how to help, or it's easier to complain about it than it is to do the work. So sometimes it's just like the younger crowd I was just talking to, we were basically like, hey, we're going to roll our sleeves up there, get in the ditch and start passing out food. That's how you do it. Sometimes it's taking that leadership role and younger generation. It's okay to help someone out. No one's going to judge you or make fun of you. Just get in there and make somebody laugh, smile, and love them.
I've been using.
Go ahead.
I've been telling my people a whole lot. It's free. It's free. It's freaking free. You can do it on your own time. It's free, you know.
It's free. I love it.
But I want to go back to the storms and everything, and then social media and stuff, and how beautiful in my world what was going on is that, you know, I work with energy healing. I do Reiki work, and I'm an alpha boticist, and I'm a big time light worker. So I have a bunch of light workers, you know, in my society. And we were all sending Reiki and energy work to the hurricane that was going to hit Florida, and it dropped it down, you know. It did amazing things. And it's not the first time we've done things like that. It's just so beautiful to sit back and watch that and focus on cooling the storm down. And so it was so great to see the aftermath. And it was bad, but if we would have known about the other storm that hit before that up in North Carolina, or where was it? Is North Carolina?
Hurricane versus Milton.
Yeah. And so we should have got on it with that one. It wasn't as hyped up as this one was. I think it was because, you know, that had already happened. And so everybody was on guard. But so that was very positive and beautiful. I love it. That's some Dr. Hank stuff too. You don't got to just change your weather where you're at. You can change it for anywhere else on the earth.
Yeah. I have been hearing that too, that because I'm on the same probably algorithm as you are, Melanie, that the collective consciousness is what helped cool that one down, which was really cool. Liberty, what you were saying about like easier to be negative, I don't know if that is necessarily it. I think that like with myself, the negativity was so ingrained in my brain for so long. That was just my default.
That's what makes it easy too.
Yeah. But it's not hard. Like it took me 2 months, like consistently, intentionally changing those negative thoughts. You know, like Dr. Hank says, when they would come up, I would say, stop. This is what I don't want. What do I want? And started asking for what I actually wanted. And then after doing that for 2 months, the negative thoughts were coming less and less and less. And now it's so easy for me to see the positive in everything. So I don't know if it's, I mean, I guess what you're saying, easier because it's so ingrained, but turning that around isn't as hard as I think we think it is.
I would say I would probably grow up brainwashed to think negative first before positive. You know, teach myself it's easy to be positive. So I agree with you, sister.
Yeah. It's training the brain. It really is. Training
our
the
condition.
brain.
It's our program received over and over and over, and it becomes our comfort zone. And we might be miserable in our comfort zone, but we're comfortable. We have the most power when we're in our comfort zone. So to step outside of that, we have to relinquish the power, and that's where fear can kick in and stuff. And that's what got me jumping off a 2,000-foot mountaintop with a hang glider. Is
And
challenging the fears.
when we
Mhm.
were born, we were, all kids from the time we come into this earth, we're told no, don't, and can't 5 times or so many more percent and then yes, and you're wonderful and beautiful. And that's from the get-go. And it's because parents think that we're being protected and everything, but it really does ingrain that no, don't, and can't like solid in that mind. So
Yeah. So yeah, that's
You
all
ready
right.
for the meditation, Joey?
Yeah, you guys want to do a meditation?
Absolutely.
It'd be a little bit different, but I'm excited to share this with you guys. It's one that I do myself. So,
Thank you.
just find a comfortable spot to sit in. Relax. I got a question before we go though. Somebody just joined us on an iPhone and they're muted. Who is that?
It might be I invite somebody every week that I met on TikTok. I don't even know who they are, but I send them the reminder every week.
Oh,
It
okay. I
might
was
be
just
that
hoping to say
person.
I was just hoping to say hello to them if they want to hit the mute real quick. But yeah, so I want to do this meditation to take a little bit and just find a comfortable spot. And the other thing I'm going to tell you is just really open your mind to possibilities as we do this. Okay, just go into it with I'm going to get something incredible out of this with that thought. Okay, so if you want to close your eyes, take some deep breaths, deep comfortable breaths in. And just feel new energy coming in. And as we exhale, just exhale that energy. All the old energy that's processing. And another breath in. Start feeling energized. Exhale the old energy. And as you're inhaling, continue that breathing. And as you're inhaling, imagine from the tip of your head down to the bottom of your feet, feeling energized, feeling rejuvenated, feeling like you've just woke up from a hibernation kind of rest. Now, and continue breathing. And I want you to picture, don't open your eyes, but just picture what your surroundings were like before you closed your eyes. Just the image, where things are, the doorway, things like that from where you're sitting right now. And now I want you to picture standing up and you're walking to the doorway. And you walk to the nearest exterior door, whether it's the front door, back door, side door. And with your right hand, you reach out and turn the knob and open that door. And as you take a step outside of the door, you're deep in nature. You can hear the animals, you can hear the birds singing. You can see the sun gleams coming down through the trees. And weather just feels so nice with a light breeze against your skin. And so we take another step deeper into that wilderness. And notice how everything changes around you in wilderness environment. And you start hearing water up ahead. And so we take another step and we pause and notice that. Notice the glory of all the beautiful trees and nature and birds and squirrels and chipmunks and just running around. We've entered their playground. And we see just ahead of us, a couple steps ahead of us, a bench along a river's edge. And the bench is big enough for two. And we continue that step and pause and notice. And then we take a second step. And we sit down at the left side of that bench. And we look down and we see the water flowing and we can hear it coming over some rocks and see some fish coming to the surface and going back down. And just really we become part of that nature. And then we notice that something is sat down next to us. And for me, that's Jesus Christ. For you, it can be God, it can be your angel, it can be whatever it is, your spiritual being that connects you. And we just feel their presence sitting next to us. We feel a little bit brighter light surrounding everything. And we're hearing the water flow. And now we're holding a balloon in our hand. And that entity sitting next to you says, "What would you like me to do for you? What do you want, my child? What do you desire?" And we think about what that is as we push it into the balloon by blowing it. And one blow fills the balloon up, and that desire, it fills it with that desire we have. And then that entity holds its hands out and really picture that desire of what you want. Picture what it's like to have that desire, what it's like to live in that desire, what it's like that the understanding that desire was beautifully and perfectly crafted just for you. And just take a moment and put that desire on. And we're just going to sit with that for a minute. Continue breathing. Continue building that energy for that desire, picturing what it looks like, what it's going to feel like receiving that blessing. Once we have that energy built around it, with two hands holding the balloon, we turn to the right and we give it to our powerful spiritual entity. And they take that balloon. And in doing so, they say, "Trust me. Trust me, my child. Trust me, dear friend. Trust me." And we once again look back at that river flowing and just the majestic beauty of it. And we just feel at ease. With that underlying knowing that our desire has been fulfilled. Let's sit with that for a minute. Such calmness, such a knowing, such an allowing. And we take another deep breath. And as we exhale, we stand up from our place on that bench. And we just thank God, thank our angels, thank our spirits, just thank everything for bringing us to this place. And we turn and we walk back towards that exterior door, still noticing how unique it looks with each step we take. the sounds of nature and the birds singing and the butterflies and all the majestic beauty. Now we have reached that door, and we reach up with our right hand and we open it, and we step back into the house. We walk back to that office. We sit in the same chair in the same position. As we open our eyes, which I'll count to 3, we see that desire fulfilled. 1, 2, start moving your head around a little bit and bringing yourself back into where you are. And 3, open your eyes and see the desire fulfilled. How's everybody feel?
Good.
Very good, Joey.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Made me cry.
Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody want to share their experience?
Yeah, I will. I don't think I can put it into words.
Yeah.
I felt the air change when I stepped into the wilderness, and like that dampness that you get under the canopy of the trees and everything.
Mhm.
Yes. And I had to drop to my knees at the edge of the river to thank everybody
Mhm.
and then made my way back.
Yeah.
To be
We,
what I'm worth, or be willing to ask what I'm worth for things like my painting, and I thought that this was perfect to go vacation. I've been
wow.
on the water, so I've been trying to get my ducky proper on the water, but
Oh, look at that sky.
Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful, Melanie.
thank you.
Good stuff.
Was everybody able to visualize what the desire was?
Yes.
Were you able to see it and experience the feelings of having it?
Yes.
Good. Good.
Mine was a pink balloon, and when I gave it over to him, his hands were like glowing pink, and I set
Oh,
my balloon right there.
oh, that's beautiful. When you open your eyes, in that first moment, did you see that desire?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
here already. It's here already. Whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's clients, whether it's whatever it is, it's already here.
Right. Right.
It was given to us before we even asked. We just have to allow it now. Allow it in our thoughts, allow it in our perceptions, allow it in our heart. I'm grateful I got to share that with you guys today.
Me too.
Thank you.
Me
Not bad,
too.
Joey.
Who
Not bad,
handles
Joey.
the recording? Do we get that back?
The recording, yeah, I'm recording it, and it'll go out in an email tomorrow morning. And I'm changing my name back to Dr. Hank, so I don't forget to do that for the next time he actually logs on.
Oh,
No, that's all.
um,
Just in case we needed meditate again, you know.
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And you know, the other one I was going to do, which you won't be surprised, I was going to do a laughing meditation today. But
I was wondering if you
This
were going
was
to sing.
you guys ever tried
absolutely
doing that?
just
You blew
divine.
your chance, Joey. You blew your chance.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Well, who
sure you'll
knows?
have another
Maybe
one.
maybe Shell will send Dr. Hank on another trip at some point.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
I miss him being here though.
Yeah,
It's a little different, but
definitely.
it's good. This went better than I thought, to be honest with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was able to get on. I'm at work and people just walk in. I don't do appointments. So sometimes if I'm busy, I can't even get on the call. So the universe made it quiet in here this entire time for this. So.
Yeah. Oh, Melanie, you had another painting in your background a couple weeks ago. I saw it a couple weeks in a row.
That one? Is
Yeah.
that it?
Yes. Yes. With the tree. Yes.
Well, it says grow,
Yeah. Love. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, every week I leave you a message that I send just to you on here. It says, I would love to show that off in the desk behind, in the room behind me here, but you never respond.
Oh, see, I don't know how to use the dang Zoom on my phone properly. Like, I don't know. I have an iPhone. I don't know how to do that messaging thing. I don't even know how to.
I figured it was something like that, but it was funny because I did it 2 weeks in a row. I was like, either she doesn't understand about, like, she's using her phone because I have a hard time, or she's not interested in me showing off her artwork.
No, I totally. I will. I don't know if I think we've exchanged numbers before, haven't we, or something? I don't know. Friend me on Facebook. Find me on Facebook, and I'll send it to you if you want it. I'll send you.
No, I don't want you to
send
send it. Kidding you, but I will look you up on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Shal, what do we got next?
Lori is gonna lead us in song.
Are you ready?
Hold on,
Yeah.
let me hit you.
Okay, here we go. We like to laugh and have more fun,
We like
like
to
laugh
and have more fun.
for we are the happy ones.
for
For
we
We are the happy
Ones.
Being happy is the name of the game.
Being
happy
happy is
name
the
of the
name.
Game.
Joy is now our middle name.
Joy is
now
now
our
our
middle
middle
name.
name.
To feel good is our divine right.
to
To
feel
feel good is our divine right.
As we shine in God's light.
as
As we shine in
God's
God's
light.
light.
Sound off, we are happy.
Sound
Sound
off,
off,
we
we
are
are
happy.
Sound off, we are happy. Yes,
Sound
Sound
off,
off,
we
we
are
are
happy.
happy.
Yes,
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 yes.
we are happy. This was absolutely divine. Thank you all so much. I love you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
too.
Love you too,
Love
guys.
y'all.
Have a
Bye.
blessed
Have a
week.
blessed week.
Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy. Thank you.